In this video, we're going to be looking at this camera. This camera model is PTZ-4620-IZT. Now, this camera is from a company by the name of Vikylin, and I am going to, for full disclosure, this camera was given to me for a review, so I'm going to let you guys see what this thing is all about and see how it performs, and you can make up your own mind on what you think about it. So first off, we already see a couple of, we got a user guide and a thank you card. All right. Now this is a pretty hefty camera here. This is a PTZ camera. That stands for what am I saying? PTZ stands for pan, tilt, zoom. So your pan motion, like it'll be hanging up like this, but panning from the side, tilting, and then it can zoom as well. It actually has an optical zoom. So optical zoom is when you're kind of similar to this camera lens I got here. So you see we got the glass here and you have the glass in the back. So when you're actually zooming, an optical zoom, the lens, the two pieces of glass are getting further away from each other. That's what allows you to have the zoom. Just like a telescope or anything like that. The further you get the glass away, the longer it would zoom. Like this particular lens zoomed to 135 millimeters. That's because that's the distance from here to there. If it goes out further, it would zoom more. So this moves inside of this housing just the same way this does. It doesn't shoot out this way, but it moves around inside the housing. So that is really neat, and that allows you to get footage that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. So this arm right here, this is all metal. This is metal here, and then this part down here is plastic. So it has a little mounting plate. Here you have your waterproof little cover. So if you have to actually plug this in and maybe run it out here, you can use this to keep your connection, your Ethernet or RJ45 connection, nice and waterproof. So this is a PoE camera. PoE stands for Power over Ethernet. This camera can be powered with just this Ethernet cable if you have it plugged into a capable switch that is supplying the adequate amount of power, or you're using a PoE injector. You also can power it by 12-volt power right there. Remove the retaining screw to get the mounting plate off. I pre-drilled the holes and just screwed in the screws. You're going to want to feed the wires through the arm here. It's a little bit awkward. It'd be a lot easier if I could set down the camera housing. And once you get that in there, you tighten the set screws around the top here. So once you mount the camera on the mounting plate, you tighten the set screw at the bottom to lock it in there. This Ethernet cable is plugged into my PoE switch, and as soon as I plug it in, you can see that the camera powers up. There it goes. So that noise that you might hear is actually the motors in the camera. The sound of the motors is being picked up by the camera's onboard microphone. So that is something that you will experience when you're using a camera like this that has the motorized functions. But I thought this auto tracking was really neat. I've had a few PoE cameras. I've never had a auto tracking PTZ like this. So this is really neat. As you can see, I kind of ran back and forth a little bit and the camera was able to keep up with me. So you guys might notice that there are black bars on the side and just a little bit on the top and bottom. That's because I made this video in a 4K timeline. And you see that this video almost takes up all the space, but not quite. I'd say probably 85 to 90%. So the video resolution of this is 3027 by 2048. A normal HD is 1920 by 1080. So the little graphic video you see in the corner is actually a 1920 by 1080, and that's just a normal HD clip. And you see the size of it in comparison of what this camera actually puts out. So this camera isn't a 4K camera, but it is really close, as you can see. Now, this is something that really impressed me with this camera. Right now, this video is zoomed all the way in to 20 times zoom. And you can see, different cars going by, like that's a black pickup truck. You can make out those details. You can see the stop sign out there. It looks like some geese flying. And now we come all the way out and you can see that you can't see a single detail. So I went online to one of those GIS websites that allows you to take measurements. I wanted to see how far that shot was that I just showed you at 20x zoom. So my house to the point that I was shooting was 527 meters, and that's 1,700 feet away. So that's pretty impressive. And here's some night tracking. The tracking works just as good at night. The infrared lights are very bright. So the infrared light's supposed to reach 328 feet. And I didn't quite measure this, but as you can see, this is an extremely bright infrared light coming off of here. And it reached very far. All right, guys, that's all I got for this video. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Give a comment. I like to respond to every question that's asked. I do have the 4K version of this same camera. That's the video on your left. And I'm also having a video of the overall setup and how I set this up on my server and some other nerdy stuff. So that's the video on the right. Thank you.